The biblical timeline establishes a chronological framework for historical events. It commences with the figure of Adam, marking the initial point of reference. This foundational starting point is crucial for all subsequent calculations. The initial segment of the timeline sets the stage for the entire chronological structure. This comprehensive framework is designed to span multiple millennia of history. It provides a continuous chronological record based on biblical narratives. Genesis chapter 5 provides a detailed chronological record. It specifies the age of each patriarch at the birth of their first son. This allows for a direct calculation of the timeline from Adam to Noah. The method involves summing these precisely recorded ages. This summation yields an accurate chronological sequence for this specific biblical period. The text ensures a clear and verifiable historical account from Adam to Noah. Adam was 130 years old when he fathered Seth, as recorded in biblical texts. This age marks the initial data point in the direct lineage calculation from Adam to Noah. It establishes the first generational increment within this significant biblical genealogy. This detail is crucial for understanding the chronological progression of early biblical figures. Seth, a significant figure in early genealogies, reached a notable age before fathering his son. He was precisely 105 years old when his son, Enosh, was born. This event marks a continuation in the sequential recording of ages within historical texts. The age of Seth at Enosh's birth contributes to the cumulative chronological span. Such records are vital for constructing and understanding ancient timelines and lineage. Enosh's age at Kenan's birth is a specific chronological data point. This event marks a significant moment in a lineage or historical record. Enosh was 90 years old when he fathered Kenan, as recorded in ancient texts. Each age recorded contributes to a cumulative total within a genealogical sequence. This demonstrates the linear progression of time and generational succession. Such records provide insight into historical demographics and lifespan pattern. The biblical narrative details the lineage and ages of early patriarchs. Kenan, a significant figure in this lineage, fathered Mahalalel. At the time of Mahalalel's birth, Kenan was 70 years old. This age is notable when compared to other patriarchal lifespan. Such instances highlight variations in the ages at which patriarchs fathered children. Genealogical records often provide specific ages for key life events, such as parenthood. One such record details Mahalalel's age at the birth of his son, Jared. Mahalalel was precisely 65 years old when Jared was born. This age is a distinct data point within the continuous genealogical lineage. Such specific details help maintain the accuracy and sequence of historical counts. Jared lived for a significant period before fathering his son, Enoch. He was 162 years old when Enoch was born. This age marks a notable interval in the lineage. It represents a longer span compared to some preceding generations in the historical record. Enoch's age at the birth of his son, Methuselah, is a significant detail in biblical genealogy. According to ancient texts, Enoch was 65 years old when Methuselah was born. This event marks a crucial point in the lineage, establishing the next generation. The age of 65 for fathering a child was notable even in ancient times. It highlights the direct and continuous chain of generational succession. This detail is vital for understanding the chronological order of early biblical figures. Methuselah is a significant figure in biblical genealogy, known for his extraordinary lifespan. His age at the birth of his son, Lamech, is specifically recorded in ancient texts. According to these records, Methuselah was 187 years old when Lamech was born. This event marks a crucial point in the patriarchal lineage preceding the Great Flood. The longevity of Methuselah and his descendants extends the timeline leading up to Noah. Lamech, a significant figure in biblical genealogy, is recorded as the father of Noah. His age at the time of Noah's birth is a key detail in ancient texts. According to biblical accounts, Lamech was 182 years old when Noah was born. This specific age provides a crucial data point for chronological calculations. It completes the genealogical sequence from Adam to Noah, establishing a timeline. This information is vital for understanding the early biblical chronology. The total years from Adam to the birth of Noah are calculated by summing specific ages. This calculation includes the ages of patriarchs, from Adam through Lamech. The sum of these ages is 1,056 years. This chronological data is derived directly from the biblical text of Genesis 5. Noah was 600 years old when the Great Flood began. This age is explicitly recorded in Genesis 7-6. This detail is crucial for establishing biblical timeline. It helps extend the chronological sequence from Adam. The age provides a key reference point for the flood event. The period from Adam to the flood is calculated by combining two distinct chronological segments. The first segment covers the time from Adam's creation to Noah's birth. This initial period spans 1,056 years, leading up to Noah's existence. The second segment accounts for Noah's age at the time of the flood, which was 600 years. By adding these two durations, 1,056 plus 600, the total span from Adam to the flood is 1,656 years. Calculating the period from Noah to Abraham presents chronological complexities. One key challenge is determining the precise timing of Shem's birth relative to the Great Flood. Another ambiguity arises from the varying interpretations of Terah's age when Abraham was born. These factors introduce difficulties in establishing a definitive timeline for this era. Therefore, a meticulous examination of scriptural details is essential for accurate understanding. Noah was 600 years old when the flood occurred. Shem was 100 years old 2 years after the flood. This means Shem was 98 years old at the time of the flood. To find Noah's age when Shem was born, subtract Shem's age at the flood from Noah's age at the flood. Therefore, Noah was 502 years old when Shem was born. 600 minus 98 equals 502. Shem, a significant figure in biblical lineage, reached an important milestone at a specific age. He was 100 years old when he became the father of Arpachshad. This event marks a crucial point in the generational records. It represents the first recorded generational interval after the Great Flood. This lineage is meticulously traced towards the patriarch Abraham. Such details are vital for understanding the historical and genealogical progression in ancient texts. Arpachshad was 35 years old when he fathered Shelah. This event marks a specific point in the post-flood era. A noticeable decline in human lifespans is observed during this period. These post-flood ages contrast significantly with pre-flood lifespans. Shelah's age at the birth of his son Eber is a significant genealogical detail. The text states that Shelah was 30 years old when Eber was born. This event continues the post-flood genealogical sequence. It illustrates a trend of progressively shortening lifespans among descendants. This reduction in age at fatherhood reflects a broader pattern in the biblical narrative. Eber was 34 years old when his son Peleg was born. The name Peleg carries significant meaning. It translates to division. This name is often associated with the division of the earth. Peleg was a significant figure in early biblical genealogies. His life details are recorded in ancient texts, providing historical context. A key event in Peleg's life was the birth of his son, Ro. At the time of Ro's birth, Peleg was 30 years old. This age reflects a consistent pattern of younger fatherhood in that historical period. Such patterns offer insights into demographic and social norms of the era. Ru was 32 years old when his son Serug was born. This event marks a specific point in a genealogical timeline. Such age records are crucial for establishing historical chronologies. Each successive generation contributes a defined number of years to the overall timeline. The age of the father at the birth of his firstborn son is a key metric. This method allows for the calculation of lineage, durations, and historical periods. Serug was a significant figure in the ancestral lineage leading to Terah. At the time of Nahor's birth, Serug had reached the age of 30 years. This specific age marks a key point in the genealogical record. It is part of the direct ancestral line detailed in historical texts. Nahor was a significant figure in the post-flood genealogy. As recorded in ancient texts, his life details provide insights into the generational patterns of that era. A notable fact is Nahor's age when his son Terah was born. Nahor was precisely 29 years old when he fathered Terah. This age represents one of the shorter generational intervals documented in the post-flood lineage. Such intervals are crucial for understanding demographic and historical timeline. Terah was 130 years old when Abraham was born. A detail derived from biblical texts. Genesis 11:26 states Terah was 70 when he began to have sons. However, Acts 7-4 clarifies that Abraham departed Haran after Terah's death. Terah died at the age of 205, and Abraham was 75 when he left Haran. Calculating Terah's age at Abraham's birth, 205 Terah's death, minus 75 Abraham's departure, equals 130 years. The period from Noah to Abraham involves a complex chronological calculation. This era bridges the significant post-flood period in biblical history. Specific intervals are summed to determine the total duration. These intervals include 502, 100, 35, 30, 34, 30, 32, 30, 29, and 130 years. The cumulative sum indicates approximately 952 years from Noah to Abraham's birth. Following the Great Flood, a significant and rapid decline in human lifespans is observed. Biblical accounts indicate that pre-flood figures, such as Noah, lived for centuries, reaching 950 years. Generations immediately after the flood experienced a sharp reduction in longevity. For instance, individuals born after Peleg saw lifespans drop dramatically to approximately 200 years. This trend continued, with lifespans stabilizing further to around 175 years by the time of Abraham. This data reflects a profound and consistent change in human longevity in the post-flood era. Shem, son of Noah, is noted for an exceptionally long lifespan of 600 years. This extended life meant Shem was alive during the time of Abraham. His longevity established him as a direct link to the pre-flood world. Shem served as a living bridge, connecting different historical eras. He provided continuity of knowledge and tradition across generations. The calculation from Abraham to Jesus shifts from strict chronogenealogies. It relies on historical narratives found in books like Exodus, Kings, and Chronicles. This period is determined by summing major historical periods. It does not rely on individual birth ages for its timeline. The period from Abraham to the Exodus spans approximately 430 years. This duration is specifically referenced in biblical texts, including Galatians 3:17. Further confirmation is found in Exodus 12:40, detailing this historical time frame. This 430-year period marks the foundational beginning of a significant historical sum. The period between the Exodus and the construction of Solomon's temple is a significant historical marker. According to biblical accounts, specifically 1 Kings 6:1, this span covers 480 years. The Exodus marks the departure of the Israelites from Egypt, a foundational event in their history. Solomon's temple, built in Jerusalem, became the central place of worship for the Israelites. This 480-year duration provides a chronological framework for understanding early Israelite history. It highlights the transition from a nomadic existence to a settled kingdom with a permanent sanctuary. The period from the construction of Solomon's temple to the Babylonian exile is a significant era. This historical span is estimated to be approximately 400 years in duration. The timeline is primarily established through the reigns of the kings of Judah. This period encompasses a substantial portion of Israel's monarchical history. It marks a critical phase in the religious and political development of ancient Israel. The events of this era profoundly shaped the identity and future of the Israelite people. The historical period from the Babylonian exile to the birth of Jesus spans approximately 580 years. This segment of history is derived from comprehensive historical records. The starting point is historically marked around 586 BC with the Babylonian exile. The timeline concludes around 4 BC, coinciding with the birth of Jesus. This period bridges ancient history and the beginning of the Common Era. It represents a crucial transition in the historical and religious timeline. Historical periods are summed to estimate the duration from Abraham to Jesus. This calculation yields an approximate time frame of 1,900 to 2,000 years. This period spans from the time of Abraham to the birth of Jesus. It represents the completion of the third major chronological segment. Biblical chronology provides a timeline from Adam to Christ based on scriptural accounts. The first segment spans 1,056 years, detailing the period from Adam's creation to Noah. Following this, 952 years cover the era from Noah to the birth of Abraham. The third major segment encompasses approximately 1,992 years, from Abraham to Jesus. Combining these three distinct periods reveals a comprehensive biblical timeline. The total duration from Adam to Christ is estimated to be roughly 4,000 years. The Hebrew calendar, also known as Anno Mundi, AM, is a lunisolar calendar. It is primarily used within Judaism for religious observances and civil purposes in Israel. This calendar system counts years from the creation of the world. It provides an alternative chronological framework compared to the Gregorian calendar. The Hebrew calendar's unique structure integrates both lunar months and solar years. The Hebrew year count is based on the Anno Mundi system, meaning in the year of the world. This system calculates time from the traditional date of the world's creation. The creation date is traditionally set at 3,760 BCE. This specific dating is derived from the ancient rabbinic chronology, Seder Olam Rabbah. This establishes the unique starting point for the Hebrew calendar's chronological system. The current Hebrew year is 5,000. 786 AM, providing a contemporary reference for this ancient calendar system. The Hebrew calendar, also known as the Jewish calendar, is a lunisolar calendar. Year 5786 AM commenced on Rosh Hashanah, which corresponds to the 22nd of September 2025. This specific Hebrew year will conclude on the 11th of September 2026. The AM designation stands for Anno Mundi, meaning in the year of the world. The Hebrew calendar operates on a 19-year cycle to synchronize lunar months with the solar year. Within this cycle, certain years are designated as leap years to maintain alignment. A Hebrew leap year includes an extra month, known as Adar 2 or Adar Bet. This additional month ensures that holidays and seasons remain in their proper time. The year 5786 AM is not a leap year, containing only 1 month of Adar. The current Hebrew month is Adar, a significant period in the Jewish calendar. Adar typically aligns with the Gregorian calendar months of February and March. This month is traditionally characterized by an atmosphere of heightened joy and celebration. A central feature of Adar is the observance of the holiday of Purim. Purim commemorates the deliverance of the Jewish people from Haman's plot to annihilate them. The Gregorian calendar is a solar dating system widely used internationally. The Hebrew calendar is a lunisolar calendar, primarily used for Jewish religious observances. Converting between these two systems requires specific calculation. For example, the 1st of November 2023 is a specific date in the Gregorian calendar. This Gregorian date corresponds to the 17th of Cheshvan in the Hebrew calendar. The Hebrew year for this date is 5784, demonstrating the alignment of the two systems. The 17th of Cheshvan marks a significant date in biblical history. According to Genesis 7:11 in Jewish tradition, this is the anniversary of the Great Flood's start. On this day, the fountains of the Great Deep are said to have broken open. This event holds profound biblical and historical meaning. The Jewish calendar operates on a lunisolar system, distinct from the Gregorian calendar. Each Jewish year begins with Rosh Hashanah, typically in September or October. The year 5784 inches. The Jewish calendar commenced on the 15th of September 2023. Cheshvan is the second month of the civil year in the Jewish calendar. The date, 17 Cheshvan, 5784, therefore fell early within this annual cycle. This positioning helps contextualize events within the Jewish annual timeline. Cheshvan is a month in the Jewish calendar, often referred to as Mar Cheshvan. The prefix Mar translates to bitter, giving it the name Bitter Cheshvan. This designation stems from its unique characteristic as the only month without a major holiday. Despite the lack of holidays, it holds significant traditional importance. Cheshvan is traditionally reserved for prayers related to rain and agricultural prosperity. The Genesis account portrays clouds as instruments of divine judgment. Specifically during the Great Flood, clouds are depicted as bringing forth destruction and widespread devastation upon the earth. In contrast, a personal vision on 17 Cheshvan describes being lifted into the clouds of heaven. This experience signifies a reception of divine revelation and spiritual insight. Thus, clouds hold dual symbolic meanings: destruction and divine presence, or revelation. The Aran's posture features arms stretched out, resembling the shape of a cross. Historically, it was a primary posture of prayer in early Christian art. This posture symbolizes an act of supplication or humble entreaty. It also represents an imitation of Christ's crucifixion. The man-child archetype, referenced in Revelation 12:5, signifies a figure of divine significance. This figure is described as being caught up unto God, escaping the dragon's pursuit. Interpretations often link this to Christ's ascension or to a collective of overcomers. The archetype fundamentally represents concepts of divine protection and spiritual elevation. Daniel's vision, Daniel 7:13, describes a pivotal divine encounter. The Son of Man is presented before the Ancient of Days, representing God the Father. This presentation signifies the conferral of dominion and ultimate authority. The interaction underscores a profound transfer of power and divine recognition. The phrase, coming with clouds, from Revelation 1-7, carries significant biblical symbolism. It primarily signifies the visible manifestation of God's glory, known as Shekinah. This imagery represents a divine presence, often associated with awe and majesty. Clouds are also depicted as a vehicle for divine transport, facilitating God's movement. Figuratively, clouds are referred to as the dust of his feet, emphasizing divine power. This symbolism underscores both God's imminent return and his omnipresent nature. The seven spirits of God, referenced in Revelation 4-5, represent a historical lineage. This lineage comprises 7 covenant heads: Adam, Noah, Abraham, Joshua, David, Jesus, and the Comforter. Each covenant head is symbolized as a lamp on the menorah. They embody specific divine attributes and covenants throughout biblical history.